Mark, his sister Lily, and their friend Ben had heard rumours about the old forest that bordered their town. A tale as old as the town itself whispered from one generation to the next. The old forest, a sprawling expanse of ancient trees and tangled underbrush, was more than just a geographical feature. It was a character in the town's story, a silent, brooding entity that held secrets of a time long past. The legend spoke of a tribe, the original inhabitants of the land, who lived in harmony with the forest. Their lives were intertwined with the rhythm of nature. But one day they vanished, leaving no trace behind. Only the forest knew what became of them. Some say they were swallowed by the earth, others believe they ascended to the spirit world, but no one knows for sure. And so, a curse was born, a haunting echo of a people lost to time. The forest became a spectral realm, the tribe's spirits said to wander amidst the trees, their chants carried on the wind. The townsfolk whispered of a chilling rule. Those who dared to venture into the forest at night never returned. Yet skepticism often dances hand in hand with curiosity. Enter our protagonists, Mark, a daring spirit, his sister Lily, a thoughtful soul, and their friend Ben, ever the loyal companion. Each had grown up hearing the tales of the old forest, its curse, and the vanished tribe, but where others saw fear, they saw fascination. Mark, particularly, had a knack for questioning the unquestionable, challenging the myths that had held sway for centuries. His mind buzzed with questions, with the need to know, to prove. Could a place truly be cursed? Could a forest really hold the spirits of a lost tribe? He dismissed the tales as mere folklore, designed to keep curious children away from the dangerous depths of the forest. But there's only one way to know for sure, isn't there? To confront the myth with reality. And so Mark, with a gleam in his eyes and a plan in his mind, turned to his companions. He convinced Lily and Ben to join him for a night hike to prove the rumors wrong. The forest was unnaturally quiet as they entered. It was as if the very heart of the woods had ceased beating, leaving an eerie silence that hung heavy in the air. They could feel it, that unsettling quietude, an absence of sound so profound it seemed to whisper tales of forgotten mysteries and ancient curses. The aroma of damp earth mixed with the scent of decay hung around them, a potent reminder of the forest's untamed, raw essence. Yet there was something else, a metallic tang that tingled their senses, a scent that was disturbingly similar to blood. It was a smell that seemed to seep out from the very soul of the forest, a sinister perfume that added to the growing sense of unease. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the woods, the towering trees seemed to lean in closer, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal hands, trying to ensnare them in a deadly embrace. The moonlight filtering through the dense foliage cast long, menacing shadows, an intricate dance of darkness that seemed to play tricks on their eyes. The forest was closing in around them, the trees like silent sentinels watching their every move. The undergrowth seemed to rustle with an unseen presence, the air thick with anticipation. It was as if the forest was alive, breathing with them, matching their heartbeats with its own ominous rhythm. Every step they took, every breath they drew, the feeling of dread intensified. The forest, with its twisted roots and ancient trees, seemed to resonate with a chilling malice that made their skin crawl. It was a feeling that was hard to shake off, a feeling that something was terribly, terribly wrong. Lily glanced around nervously, her eyes wide with fear. Her voice was barely a whisper, swallowed by the oppressive silence of the woods. "I don't like this. It feels wrong." And in that moment they knew they were no longer alone in the silent woods. They were in the presence of something ancient, something malevolent, something that did not welcome intruders. Ben was about to agree when they heard it. The distant sound of chanting, low and rhythmic. It was a sound that resonated deep within their bones, a haunting melody that seemed to echo from the forest's very soul. The trio froze, their breaths hitching in their throats as the eerie chant wound its way through the silent woods, wrapping around them like an icy shroud. The air grew colder, a chill seeping into their bones as they stood there, entranced by the ethereal sound. There was something ancient, something primal about the chant, a cadence that spoke of forgotten rituals and hidden secrets. The forest seemed to press in tighter around them, the trees leaning in as if to listen, their dark forms casting monstrous shadows that seemed to dance in rhythm with the chant. Shadows moved at the edge of their vision, figures cloaked in darkness, their outlines blurred and indistinct. As the chanting grew louder, the figures began to solidify, taking on a form that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. They were tall, their bodies draped in dark cloaks that blended with the shadows, their faces obscured by bone masks that gleamed eerily in the moonlight. Upon their bare arms and chests were painted dark crimson symbols, cryptic signs that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. The symbols pulsed with the rhythm of the chant, a heartbeat of darkness that throbbed in time with their own racing hearts. Mark's heart pounded in his chest, his breath coming in short, ragged gasps as he took a step back, his eyes wide with fear. "We need to get out of here," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the chanting. But his words fell on deaf ears, for Lily and Ben were entranced, their eyes glazed over as they stared at the figures. Suddenly, one of the figures lunged forward, its hand reaching out for Lily. She screamed, a high, piercing sound that was quickly swallowed by the dark forest. The figure grabbed her, pulling her into the shadows as the chanting reached a fever pitch. Mark and Ben ran, their hearts pounding, but the chanting was all around them, the shadows closing in. The forest seemed to come alive, the phantom chanters pursuing them relentlessly. Fear fueled their flight, the eerie rhythm of the chants echoing in their ears, growing ever louder, ever closer. The forest twisted and turned, a labyrinth of shadows and spectral figures. The moonlight was their only guide, casting long, treacherous shadows that danced and swirled around them. The once familiar landscape was now a terrifying maze, every tree a potential foe, every shadow a lurking menace. Their breaths came out in ragged gasps, the cold air stinging their lungs. The world spun around them, the forest a blur of darkness and panic. And amidst this chaos, the chilling realization, Lily was gone. Their desperate escape ended just as the first rays of dawn pierced the forest canopy. They made it out just as dawn broke, but Lily was never found. Have you ever found yourself hopelessly lost in the woods? Beware. For the ancient tribe of the old forest lurks in the shadows, waiting. Their chants echo in the night, their bone masks and dark crimson symbols a chilling sight to behold. This is no mere tale, but a warning. Veer not into uncharted woods, for you may not return. Join us on TikTok and YouTube for more bone-chilling chronicles if you dare.